have 5 of them. You have like freaking 15.
Yeah, because I did that yesterday. Still slows.
Welcome back to pregame.tv. Saturday college basketball action. Gonzaga goes to St. Mary's. Now, year after year, this has been the premier battle in this conference. However, St. Mary's kind of dropped a notch this year. Gonzaga, they're the usual selves and the team to beat, but it's St. Mary's home floor, and St. Mary's 14-2 straight up on their home floor, Brian. This is going to be your free play. Do they get their revenge against Gonzaga here?
Yeah, as you pointed out, these were the two teams to beat for a long time here, but now BYU's in this conference, and I'm not so sure BYU's on a different level. In fact, they're on the same level as St. Mary's, and, you know, you talk about Gonzaga, 23-6 record, but really, I don't think this Gonzaga team is nearly as good as it has been in the past. You know, you take a look at what they've done. Losses, neutral site games to Dayton and Kansas State. Pretty good basketball teams. They beat Arkansas, but we already know that Arkansas doesn't play very well away from home. And, you know, take a look at the teams that they lost to: Portland, Memphis, BYU, San Diego. And, you know, St. Mary's and BYU are really the only two quality wins they have, along with Arkansas. So this is a situation here I think I may have some value. But
3 losses in their last 5 games for the Zags. Inside, well, 2 of them inside the WCC. You know about the game against Memphis. They squandered that lead. They actually led that game, you know, virtually the whole way and gave it away, and then lost the point spread as well, losing by 6 down the stretch. So it's a good team. I think that Mark Few is not playing David Stockton's enough, John Stockton's kid. I think this kid is very solid. Pangos is not shooting as well, but when Stockton and Pangos are out there together, Stockton can dish Pangos the ball, have him set for that shot instead of Pangos trying to create his own jump shot. He's got range, but he's not as effective shooting the long jumper off the dribble.
The other part that I've noticed here with Gonzaga, you know, the schedule maker down the stretch has not been kind to them. They're going to finish the season with 4 straight road games, which is, you know, not what you want to do, and then you're going to go right into the conference tournament. Of course, they'll have a bye, you know, in the conference tournament the first round. But as you said, away from home, this is not the same team. They're 8-6 straight up away from home and only 6-8 against the spread. And we've seen in years past, this team was able to travel. They were never scared to put anybody on their schedule at the beginning of the season, and I always thought that's one of the reasons it made them such a tough out whenever they got to the big dance, because they did have some tough battles early in the season. They didn't worry about padding the stats with easy, you know, games, and nobody will go play them. Nobody wants to go to their building because they're so good, so they got to take the game on the road, and it makes them tougher. But this is a big rivalry game here. Real quick, because I know this is your play, but St. Mary's, on the other hand, I think Randy Bennett learned a lot this year. They started out 9-0, winning their first 9 games at home. They didn't leave Moraga. They went to Hawaii. They didn't win a game there. I think he's going to mix in a couple games early on, so they have some battle-tested road games and neutral site games early on before they go away for a tournament and get lambasted and don't win a game. That was embarrassing for them in Hawaii. And, you know, where's Waldo? Where's Brad Waldo? If he's there, he's the big guy in the middle, 16 points, 8 boards a game. If he shows up, he's a beast. He's a load. And again, Gonzaga, not the same depth that they've had in the paint, you know, over the years. So if Waldo's a beast and gets those guys in foul trouble, could be a tough night for the Zags. Well, Brian, this is your free pick. Let's make it official.
All right, I touched on some of the points earlier. Marco touched on a couple of great points here. Gonzaga normally is a team that goes and plays anybody anywhere. Well, this year it hasn't really been that way. They played a couple, 2 or 3 games, neutral court games, but they haven't been really tested on the road. The only road games they've really had have been in conference. And overall, this conference is down this year, especially from the top part. So I'm not overly impressed with Gonzaga here. And you take a look at St. Mary's. It's a big revenge game for them. Obviously, anytime they play Gonzaga, it's a big game for them. But they lost the last game 73-51. They were blown out. And one of the things we're going to talk about in another video coming up, and I hope you join us on it, is how we're going to treat teams playing senior night at home. And right here we have with St. Mary's, it's going to be like a senior night type of game because this is a big game for them. Now, Gonzaga is going to go on. They're going to play in the NCAA tournament. Marco pointed out they're going to play, obviously, in the conference tournament. So it's not as big a deal here for Gonzaga to lose this game. But because St. Mary's is, as Ken pointed out, started off the season really well and have really treaded water since then. I think this is a statement game for them. They're not going to be going to the tournament unless they win the conference tournament. They'll probably be playing the NIT, but that wasn't their goal coming into the season. So this is a statement game they need at home off of a big blowout loss last time they played them. I think we want to play the home team here, and as Marco pointed out, 14-2 straight up at home. They did struggle against BYU. That was the last time they played here, I believe. They do play tonight. We're taping on Thursday. I believe they host Portland tonight, but the game prior to that, they played BYU and lost. So this is a game right here. I think we're going to have some value here on the home team, and I'm going to go against Gonzaga, a public team. I think we're going to get some value.
All right, great stuff, Brian. He says to take St. Mary's in revenge on Saturday. We're going to be back next. One more video going to Sunday, Oregon State at UCLA. That's up next, pregame.tv.